himself decorated after World War II. It gives me great pride to introduce Mr. Richard Cornell.
Main thing I want to do, I don't need this thing, I got a loud mouth on it. I apologize for wearing my hat. Everybody else has got their hat on, but the reason is I catch cold all evening. It's really funny that I come here and found out that the American veteran that we could possibly have ran into one because I was over in that section in counterintelligence, and I had a group of the 30th Division, the 117th, who were aiding our group. Our big job was to identify Germans masquerading as Americans. We got special training for it and was sent over to try to catch them. And it is not true that we shot all of them because we didn't. As he said, we turned them over to somebody else. We don't know what they did. We were lucky in one thing. We broke one, I'll tell you one more war story, then I'll shut up. One thing that we broke, and we did it, I thought, in the good old American way. We could not figure out how the Germans could identify themselves to other Germans when they were wearing American uniforms. But they had to have had, otherwise their own people would have killed them. So we finally captured a couple of them, and they looked like a certain type. So we had two Navajo Indians in our outfit who looked like Indians, you know, I mean, the noble red man. Well, the Germans, the Indians to them were, well, they thought at that time that John Wayne was still fighting them out west side. So like Chicago was full of gangsters. And so we took these two Navajos, who were very educated gentlemen. They had to be to get into the unit I was in. They rigged up some headbands and war paint. And everybody carried a hunting knife in those days. That's one thing. Every American soldier in the European theater had one of those marble hunting knives with a leather handle on it. I mean, stuck someplace on his person, someplace. And so they took them, and they took these Germans, and they talked back and forth to each other in Navajo, you know. We kept telling these guys, we'll get you. So we passed one. Now, we want identification. We want to know how you can identify yourself. And I'm going to tell them. So they come up and they got a hold, you know, they take over the guy's hair, and they, you know, the Germans quite often, they have cut real close on the side of the stack of like this high on top. And they come up and they feel this, and then they run their hand around the guy. Well, after about 5 minutes, the last one shut the Germans up. They were just after, they knew they were going to get scalped anyway. They noticed the secret, and the secret was this. Anytime one of these Germans was riding in a Jeep or anything else, he'd run into other Germans, you need to take your headgear off and do this with it. And that was a signal to them that they were actually Germans in American uniforms. So we didn't tell everybody, we just let all the CIC agents know that. And I'll tell you, gentlemen, it saved our lives more than once. Swartz and I, Swartz was my partner, two of us in the Jeep. We got separated from the rest of the unit. Swartz, thank heavens for luck, he spoke perfect German with a Hessian accent. I mean, really, right on the nose. Couldn't tell him from a German when he talked. We were in the Jeep, he was driving, we go around this corner, and as we turned, we see this armored column. And it was too late to turn around, and it was a German armored column, the whole line of them. So we didn't say anything. We just took our hats off and Swartz started hard and taking out his shirt. I smiled and I waved back. They all waved back. They smiled at us. We went down the road on the first road we took off to the right and got out of it. And that saved a lot of us at that time. It's really funny. I think back on my time. I wouldn't take $1 million for the experience, and I wouldn't do it again for $1 million. That's the main thing I wanted to say. Thank you, people. I like all of it. You want me to have him come up here? You want me to take you to it? Bring him up here. Come on up here, Mr. Sweet. I want. Come on. Got something for you. You.
I didn't see it.
Black here. 30th Division and safety on it.
I really don't hardly what to say. I do appreciate it. Thank you so very, very much.
That's gonna be some of these things like coming out of
I was honored to share this evening with you all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, moving right along, I want to thank Mr. Cordwell. Those are the kind of anecdotes that make our history a little fuller. I have never known that story, and I promise you the next time I pass a German column back down, I'll get my head. Of course, I am in the right news. Thank you both. Hal, it's a pleasure to have you here this evening. Thank you. Now, I'd like to call upon another gentleman. He's well known amongst you here in reenacting. Those of you who have traveled across the country may not have had the opportunity, but we in the South know him very well. And I'm very proud to introduce to you Mr. Steve Harrell.
On behalf of the National Military Historic Association, I'd like to present this plaque to Mr. George Jenkinson tonight. Mr. Jenkinson.
I never know if I didn't see those again.
We see it?
Turn it around.
Show it to us.
There you go.
Thank you very much, Steve. And thank you, George. Both of you have really helped make this evening. I'd like to now call again upon Bernie Jenkinson to come forward. We have an award for a good friend, and I'm going to ask Bernie to make it for us. Bernie?
Good. Mine up now.
I know you thought you were going to get away with giving me something without getting something in return this time, but no. On behalf of the National Military Historical Association, I'd like to present this plaque to Secret Amelia. Bernie Royal. Thank you.
Thank you for
Just capture our wrong.
Billy, thank you very much. Well, now I get to enjoy myself. I'm going to sneak up on one of my friends. I'd like to thank this gentleman for all that he's done tonight to make this possible. He's worked as an interpreter. He's worked as hard as he can to make this possible. We have defeated government bureaucracies, elected agencies, and God knows what all. And this gentleman's had a major hand in helping us do it. I'd like to call Mr. Gunther Klink to come forward, please. Danke, meine Freunde.
Thank you very much. I can eat a lot of kakos on that thing.
I'd like now to ask someone to come forward. I see his son is in the room, and he is not.
He's already gone. We have to do it.
Okay.
Charles?
I'm going to ask Chuck to come forward on behalf of his father, Charles, the owner of this restaurant, and a man who's contributed a great deal to our reenacting efforts in the Southeast. He's given us land, he's given us help, and he's extended his friendship. I'd like to thank Charles Walmart and his son Chuck for all they have done for us. And we have a 48-star flag behind us, which I hope will be a resident of this restaurant for the rest of his life. Thank you to the Longhorn family for all of us in reenacting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, you don't have to listen to me anymore. We've run out of wonderful things to do, and I think it's time to start having a little bit of fun. I thank you one and all for coming from all over this country tonight to make this possible. We have people from Texas, Connecticut, Ohio, all over the U.S., and sitting in this room tonight. That speaks very well for the efforts of the people involved, and for the care and the concern of all of you who are here tonight to make this possible. I thank you again. Let's enjoy the evening. Good night.